Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. And we do have a pretty good week on our hands. We have some really great discounts as well as some pretty decent money bonuses. Not the best ever, but far from the worst, I would say. And starting off with the vehicle sitting right here behind me, this is of course the Annis ZR350, which is discounted this week by 30% off. It is of course based on the Mazda RX-7, and it's got a lot of really cool customization. Mine is based on the car from that one anime that people really like. I cannot remember the name of it. I don't know what it is. I haven't watched it, but I made this customization to reflect the car that's in that's pretty famous. Pretty cool car though, drives pretty well, and it does have that new drift tuning mode on it as well, which is pretty awesome. So this thing is very, very slidey, or at least it can be. Anyways, we gotta talk about the money bonuses this week in Grand Theft Auto Online first and foremost, so let's get into those. To start things off, we have double money and double RP on the exotic exports that are found through the auto shop. Those are going to be the little blue dots that pop up on your minimap, and they're like a high value car. You simply take it to the dock and you'll make 20 grand and a bit of RP. This week, of course, it's going to be doubled, so 40 grand and whatever the doubling of the RP would be. We also have double money and double RP on the offense defense adversary mode, which kind of reminds me of our manhunt series by the thumbnail of it. It looks pretty cool, and I think I'm actually going to try this out this week. Double money and double RP on this seems pretty good, as it is on most adversary modes, so this could definitely be a fun one to try out this week. We also have double money and double RP on any Los Santos car meet series race, so if you guys are interested in doing some of those, they are going to be paying double money and double RP this week, as well as double LS car meet points as well. So you're going to rank up a little bit faster in the LS car meet, which is pretty awesome. So definitely check these out if you're interested. And last but not least, probably the best money bonus of the entire week is double money on auto shop client jobs. So those are going to be paying twice as much as they normally would for the remainder of this week. So make sure you are taking advantage of that for sure. Next up, we got to start talking about some of the discounts going on this week. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the property discount found on the Maze Bank Foreclosures website. And it is of course on auto shops. Auto shops are 40% off right now, plus upgrades and renovations. Now, if you want to know the best location for your auto shop, I would say somewhere central in the city. So either maybe the Strawberry location or the one that I have, which is the Mission Row. You could go for one higher up at Burton. It wouldn't be a terrible location, but I would avoid anything a little bit lower on the map. For example, like the Rancho auto shop. I feel like it's kind of not in a very great location. However, the one at La Mesa is also not too bad. So do keep that in mind, but auto shops are pretty good. You can make some decent money with them. I would recommend picking up one this week for sure. Starting things off for our discounts this week, and we have many discounts, we're going to the Benny's website. Now, nothing is actually discounted on the Benny's website. However, the upgrade from the Elegy RH8 into the Elegy Retro Custom is discounted this week by 30% off. So if you want an Elegy Retro Custom, you can get one for 30% less money this week, which is pretty sweet. I would definitely recommend this. The Elegy Retro Custom is a pretty sweet car. It is based off of an R32 or R33 Skyline, and it's got a lot of customization, being that it is a Benny's vehicle. So if you're interested, it is a pretty great car. It's all-wheel drive, pretty quick, sounds pretty good, looks pretty good. Overall, it's a pickup this week for sure. Next up on Legendary Motorsport, under the two-door section, scrolling a little bit further down here, we will find that the Annis 300R is discounted this week. This is 30% off, and it is an Amani Tech capable two-door sports car with a decent amount of customization, and being that it's Amani Tech, you can put the missile lock-on jammer on it, as well as armor, which is pretty sweet, and the oil slick proximity mine dropper. Unfortunately, no front-mounted machine guns or bullet-resistant windows on this one, but it still is a pretty good performing car, and it looks good too. Definitely a pickup this week, in my opinion. Scrolling further down, you'll also find that the Dinka Jester RR is discounted this week. One of the better sort of cars for the tuners races in GTA. However, in free mode with the stance mode, it does not seem to get much of a speed boost from it, which does kind of suck. However, it does have a lot of customization, being that it is from the tuners DLC. And for purchasing it this week, among other vehicles, you can get a special Dinka t-shirt, which is pretty cool. However, if you're not interested in the RR, as I said at the start of the video, the Annis ZR350 or the RX-7 is also on sale this week for 30% off. This thing, when you stance it, actually gets a crazy speed glitch and tops out at 150 plus miles per hour. So it's very, very fast with the stance mode on it. definitely one that I would recommend looking into for sure. Out of the two, I would definitely say to go for the ZR350, in my opinion at least. Next up, under the motorcycles tab, we have the Nagasaki Strider this week, discounted. This thing is one that I would absolutely avoid. It is not very good in any way, shape, or form, barely any customization, and it is a trike. So it's not going to do very well. And despite the discount, I would say just completely avoid this thing. It is really, really not very good. And next up on Warstock, Cash and Carry, scrolling all the way down to the bottom here, you'll also find that the Blazer Aqua is discounted. This thing's pretty cool. It can go on land, and then when you go into the water with it, it can perform similar to a jet ski, which is pretty neat. It also has front-mounted machine guns, which is also pretty cool. Unfortunately, not much in the way of customization or anything like that really, and it is a special vehicle, so you'll either have to go to your vehicle cargo warehouse to pick it up or request it through the interaction menu. So those are two good things to know about it. I personally think the price is completely unjustified, but it is a pretty cool vehicle at the same time. But what you really have to ask yourself is, how often are you actually going to use it? So keep that in mind if you're planning on buying one this week. I can't really say I don't recommend it. I can't really say I recommend it. It's kind of one that I'm a little bit stuck in the middle, honestly. So do with that information what you will. And last but not least, on Southern San Andreas Super Autos, we will find a couple more discounts, one being on the Dinka RT3000, as well as another being on the Meibatsu Penumbra FF. The Dinka RT3000 offers the same shirt that you can get from purchasing the Dinka Jester RR, so do keep that in mind for sure. A lot of customization on the RT3000. It's kind of a worse performing version of the Jester RR in pretty much every single way, unfortunately, but it is still a pretty decent car, so I can't say don't buy it, but I also can't really say to buy it at the same time. The Penumbra FF is actually a pretty good performing car. It's got all-wheel drive. It's probably realistically slower than the Dinka RT3000, but it's a lot more fun to drive in my opinion at least. It's got a decent amount of customization as well. Overall, I can't really knock the Penumbra FF. It's one of my favorite cars in the game. But with that being said, out of the two of them, I do think the RT3000 would probably outperform the Penumbra, and it probably has more customization as well. But what you can do with the cars, it kind of depends on what you want to do. The RT3000's got a lot of tuning style modifications, so does the Penumbra FF, just to a lesser extent, and a less extreme extent, I would say as well. And under the four-door section on Southern San Andreas Super Autos, you'll also find that the Dinka Sugoi is discounted this week as well. This thing's front-wheel drive, so it handles completely awfully. It's not a very good car in my honest opinion, but it is still kind of cool, and it does have a decent amount of customization as well. So do with that information what you will. Again, it's one that I can't really say to avoid or to buy. If you like Civics and stuff like that, you're probably going to want it. However, if you're not a big fan, I would say probably avoid it, to be honest. All right, and we have a few more discounts in the dealerships, so let's head over to the casino, the car meet, and then to the dealerships. Within the casino, the Karen Previon is the podium vehicle for the week. This thing is pretty awesome. It's got a decent amount of customization. It is, of course, from that Tuners DLC, so it's going to have customization to go with it, obviously. Overall, pretty cool car. If you can win it, I would definitely try to, for sure. Within the LS car meet, we have the Karen Calico GTF as the prize ride for the week. In order to win this thing, you are going to have to place first for 3 days in a row. Relatively easy challenge if you have somebody to win trade with. However, if you don't, this might be a little bit more taxing. But if you got a friend to win trade with, you should absolutely try to get this thing. It is one of the best performing cars from the Tuners DLC and in the Tuners subcategory for those Tuners DLC races. Pretty cool car, a lot of customization. Overall, it is pretty decent. Now, unfortunately, as far as the cars go within the LS car meet this week, we have some kind of mid options. These are all available at the best of times on the websites, you know, on Legendary Motorsport or on Southern San Andreas Super Autos. The best performing out of the three, in my opinion, would be the Emperor Vector in the middle, followed by the Karen Sultan RS Classic. Both of those cars are really cool. However, the Previon I wouldn't necessarily recommend actually buying. I would definitely try to win it off of the podium in the casino for sure. It's not really that great of a performer, whereas these two actually are really, really good around the racetrack and just generally in free mode. The Emperor Vector is one of the best sounding cars in the entire game while also having a ton of customization, so that's pretty cool. And this thing also sounds awesome and has lots and lots of customization too. So keep that in mind, make intelligent decisions as to which ones you want to buy, if any at all. And here within Simeon's dealership, we have a bunch of removed vehicles, thankfully. Starting off in the very back corner, we have the Emperor ETR1, discounted for 40% off. So this thing's going to be going for, I want to say around $1.2 million, which is kind of a steep price, but at the best of times, this thing is a lot more expensive. Overall, it's a really, really good race car. It handles absolutely amazingly, especially at speed. Off the line, it's going to be a little bit worse because it is rear wheel drive only. Unfortunately, it doesn't have much customization either, but it is a pretty awesome car. If you got some extra money laying around and you want to try it out, I would definitely recommend it. Next up, of course, we have the Anis Silvestre here, which is a removed vehicle. This thing's got a decent amount of customization. It's definitely one that I would recommend picking up. Unfortunately, no discount on it this week, and it's going for just over $1 million. So if you guys do want it, it is going to cost you quite a bit of money. Out of these two, I would probably say get the ETR1 if you're looking for a performance vehicle. However, if you're not, the Silvestre is going to be better in pretty much every other way. And of course, we also have the Karin 190Z available this week, which is another removed vehicle. It's a classic car. It's got a lot of customization. The only thing that I don't like about it is that the wide body kit sticks way out to the sides and the wheels kind of look really, really silly with it. So do keep that in mind. But overall, it is a pretty cool vehicle, and it is going for just under $1 million this week. And then we have two more vehicles. First up, we have the Shih Tzu Hakuchu. Kind of just a worse version of the Hakuchu drag. If you're going to buy a Hakuchu, I'd just go for the drag. It is removed though, so if you do want one, it is available. And of course, we also have the Dinka Varus available as well. Not much to be seen here, to be completely real with you guys. And in a shocking turn of events, luxury autos completely sucks this week. I know it's sad news, guys. I know you were probably not expecting this news, but I unfortunately have to be the bearer of bad news sometimes, and today is just simply one of those days. Within the chop shop this week, we actually have a claimable vehicle for once, and it is of course the Dinka Blista Kanjo, and of course it is the worst car of the week, which does completely suck. In order to win it, you're gonna have to complete the podium robbery. For the Dinka Jester RR, which is our middle range vehicle for the week, you have to complete the cargo ship robbery, and of course for the Fister Growler, you have to complete the Duggan robbery in order to win it. And of course, last but not least, we got to talk about the time trials for the week. Starting off with your RC Bandito time trial this week, we have Construction Site 1, followed by your Junk Energy time trial. For today, it is Sewer System. Your regular time trial is going to be Down Chiliad, and your HSW time trial starts right here at the Quartz Building, and it's going to end right here at the Lighthouse, or at least on the way to the Lighthouse. Anyway guys, there you have it. That has been it for what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. Do keep in mind that new DLC is coming on either the 18th or the 25th of June, so you need to keep that in mind for sure. Don't spend all your money this week, even though the discounts are kind of tempting on some of these vehicles. The only thing that I'd really recommend buying if you don't have it already is an auto shop, because you can actually make your money back with that. Other than that though, I would probably try not to spend much money this week, unless there's something you really, really want to get. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you learned something, a like is of course appreciated, if not dislike. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.